Welcome back to our channel. Everyone, today is an absolutely beautiful day to dive headfirst into the chaotic, emotionally devastating, and endlessly complex labyrinth of our favorite characters. Grab a comfortable seat, maybe a strong cup of coffee, and a notepad, because we have an overwhelming amount of drama to unpack today. Let's get right into the madness. I'm about to sound like a madman, but let me hear it anyway. We need to talk about Naomi, and we need to talk about her right now. The sheer, unadulterated exhaustion this woman is experiencing is not just a plot point. It is a profound exploration of human endurance. Ever since Bill was hospitalized, Naomi has practically ceased to exist as an independent entity. She has become a machine. During the day, she is at the law firm, desperately trying to fill the massive void left by her father, managing clients and putting out fires. Then at night, she transforms into a vigilant guardian, constantly monitoring Bill's health. If we do a basic survival psychology analysis here, Naomi is operating entirely on a prolonged fight-or-flight response. Her cortisol levels must be astronomical. She is running on fumes, adrenaline, and pure, terrifying willpower. Maybe I'm connecting unrelated things, but this brings me to Jacob. Jacob sees this. He watches his wife deteriorating right in front of his eyes, and what does he do? He secretly enlists Ashley and Grayson to prepare a small, relaxing dinner at home. Wait, no, hold on a minute. Grayson, the laboratory technician Grayson. The same Grayson that Jacob has been violently cornering in elevators while obsessively investigating the plasma ring? Why on earth is Grayson helping Jacob set up a romantic, relaxing dinner for Naomi? Did Jacob force him into this as some bizarre power play? Or did they call a temporary, uneasy truce just to help Naomi? Wait, this connects to the first scene. Jacob is currently operating under severe paranoia. He just got beaten to a pulp by Ren, his own shadowy contact. He is living in a world of physical danger and life-threatening ultimatums. So for Jacob to pause his frantic, dangerous investigation to orchestrate a quiet dinner for his wife shows just how terrifyingly obvious Naomi's decline must be. He is drowning in his own conspiracy, yet Naomi's exhaustion is so severe that it actually pulls him out of his paranoid spiral. Actually, forget that part. Let's just focus on the dinner itself, because the emotional weight of this scene is staggering. When Naomi walks into the house and sees what Jacob, Ashley, and Grayson have done, her reaction is heartbreaking. She is genuinely touched. For a brief, fleeting moment, the oppressive atmosphere of the hospital and the law firm dissipates. She tries to be happy. She raises a glass, she smiles, and for the first time in what feels like an eternity, she actually looks comfortable. The tension leaves her shoulders. It's a beautiful, fragile moment of peace in a world that is constantly trying to destroy them. I have a theory, but I don't really believe it myself. My theory is that Naomi's body knew it was at the absolute limit, and this dinner, this momentary drop in her defensive walls, was the catalyst for what happened next. When you are running on pure survival instinct, you can keep going indefinitely. But the second you feel safe, the second you let yourself relax, your body finally allows itself to collapse. I think she subconsciously knew she was crashing, but she used this dinner as one final, desperate burst of normalcy before the inevitable fall. Let me explain why this is important. Right at the peak of this dinner, right when things are finally okay, Naomi's phone starts buzzing. It's Tomas. And he is relentlessly messaging her about a crucial company file. This isn't just bad timing. This is a calculated, insidious power struggle. Tomas is intentionally weaponizing her sense of duty. He implies that if she doesn't handle this immediately, a massive client will abandon the firm. This is pure, unadulterated manipulation. Tomas knows she is vulnerable. He knows she is terrified of failing her father, and he is using the fear to control her. It's a sickening display of corporate predation. Everything makes sense until I think about it for another 10 seconds. Naomi's immediate reaction is to abandon the dinner. abandon her brief moment of peace, and rush back to work. She is so thoroughly conditioned to respond to the firm's emergencies that she doesn't even hesitate. But Jacob physically stops her. He steps in and calls it exactly what it is. Tomas is deliberately manipulating her with work. Jacob, who has been swimming in a world of manipulation and lies with Ren and the plasma ring, instantly recognizes the tactics Tomas is using. He sees the strings being pulled. Okay, wait a minute. Let me say it again. Jacob stops her. He tries to ground her. And then it happens. Naomi faints. She doesn't just stumble. She completely loses consciousness and collapses. It is a shocking, violent interruption of the narrative. 1 second they are arguing about Tomas, and the next, she is on the floor. Or maybe not. I don't know. Is it just exhaustion? Is she just passing out because she hasn't slept in weeks? Or is her body broadcasting a much more dangerous signal? We cannot ignore the looming shadow of the BRCA risk. It has been hanging over her, a silent, terrifying threat. What if this faint isn't just about the law firm? What if the stress and the lack of sleep have accelerated something far more sinister inside her? Maybe I'm overthinking, but listen, has Naomi been quietly ignoring unusual behavior in her own body? Has she been experiencing hidden warnings, dizziness, pain, fatigue, and deliberately brushing them off because she felt she didn't have the luxury of being sick while Bill was in the hospital? Did she silently decide to sacrifice her own health to maintain the illusion of stability for her family? It is a horrifying thought, but it aligns perfectly with her character. She has been enduring in silence for far too long, trying to prove to everyone, and to herself, that she is perfectly fine. What am I saying? Oh right, Jacob. We have to look at Jacob's realization in this exact moment. Did Jacob actually realize that Naomi was this close to the edge? He planned the dinner, sure, which means he knew she was tired. But did he comprehend the sheer magnitude of her physical and psychological deterioration? I don't think he did. I think he thought a nice meal and a glass of wine would fix it. When she collapses right in front of him, the illusion shatters. How does a man who is already dealing with severe paranoia and physical threats from a criminal underworld handle the sudden, terrifying realization that his wife might be dying? Actually, no. I should have mentioned that earlier. Jacob's mental state is already incredibly fragile. He is constantly looking over his shoulder for Ren. Now, he has to pivot from being a paranoid investigator to a terrified husband in an emergency room. Will this break him? Will he abandon the plasma ring investigation entirely to focus on Naomi? Or will he channel his fear and helplessness into a more aggressive, reckless pursuit of Grayson and the truth? I mean, not exactly, but something like that. His reaction is going to be explosive either way. Okay, I know I just said the opposite, but listen to me. What happens when Bill finds out? Bill is lying in a hospital bed, trying to recover. If he discovers that his daughter collapsed and was rushed to the emergency room because she was literally working herself to death to cover his absence at the firm, the guilt will be apocalyptic. It will destroy him. Bill is a proud man, and knowing that his legacy, his firm, is the very thing that broke his daughter's health will be a devastating psychological blow. But that doesn't explain why. Wait, how will Donnie react? Donnie is going to absolutely detonate. If Donnie finds out that Naomi is in the hospital, she is going to look for someone to blame, and she will have plenty of targets. She will blame the law firm for their moral collapse. She will blame Tomas for his insidious manipulation and power struggles. And, most dangerously, she will blame Jacob. Maybe it doesn't matter, but I noticed. There is a deeply unsettling recurring imagery here. The changing environments from the corporate office to the sterile, terrifying halls of the hospital. It feels like this family is trapped in a cyclical nightmare. Bill goes to the hospital. Naomi takes over. Naomi collapses. Naomi goes to the hospital. Is this an apocalyptic scenario for their bloodline? Is the universe, or perhaps their own relentless ambition, systematically dismantling them one by one. Anyway, the main point is wait. What is the main point? The main point is that this single moment Naomi fainting is the nexus event that is going to shatter every single storyline. It forces the BRCA conversation out of the shadows and into the glaring lights of the emergency room. It forces Jacob to confront his own negligence as a husband while he plays detective.